Over the centuries, Ladakh has sustained a rich cultural heritage, which is evident in almost all aspects of Ladakhi life. The villages across Ladakh are adorned with large structures, such as monasteries, mosques, forts, palaces, latos, which are monuments dedicated to protectors, stupas, and mani walls, as well as natural heritage sites such as sacred groves, water bodies, and mountains. Many people have described Ladakh as the land rich with cultural heritage because of its inimitable art, crafts, myths, beliefs, rituals and traditions associated with both built and natural heritage. The landscape of Ladakh is dotted with symbols revealing its Buddhist heritage, and stupas are characteristic of the region. Stupas are religious structures venerated by Buddhists, many of which are said to house the corporal remains of high lamas. They may also mark an important place associated with the religion. The more elaborate earlier stupas, built by Lhotsava Ringchen Zangpo, are painted inside. However, this documentary is about the 8 different types of stupas in Tibetan Buddhism, each symbolizing major events in the life of the Buddha.
Chorten rigyadi nang tene nga ta tangpo go khore chap school tams tenang tene chokji kompar dun bora jate te kompar dun bora jate ne jabe yoga padma thungs pasang te padma thungs ka ni chontoni ka ta sangya chomnan de school tams ka ni chonton bika tene patpung chorten bo tene nga ta ja shole te mangchia yongtak chorten bo tene changchup chorten bo yino te bo ka ro sa mangchia tene nga ta ja che la yote no ताते चांचुप छोड़ते तो चीकी संतोन लाइन काफन ना संज्ञा चुम्दांदा मुंबर तो पा संज्ञा स्कानी संतोनी का तेने चांचुप छोड़ते हैं बोइन का गोमांग जना संज्ञा से सुंगबो माने चोक्स मंगपोने तेने कारों सा संगमाला सुंगी ड्राटक्स कानी संतोनी का छोड़ते हैं बा गोमांग पोयोत कानी सुलिका तेने गोमांग छोड़ते हैं बो नता आजांचे से लुक्सोल बो वते जो योंस पे इंजोनो ता छोटुल छोड़ते बो तेने ngata yongtak ngata Himalaya nang poljong sina छोटुल दावा जुते दावा तंगपो बो छोलदा तंगपो जरते ngata मस्ता छनमो थिया नोपा तेबो ची फिया नो जने संज्ञा चमदन दसला तेने मुस्ते पे स्टोनबा होनी छोटुल दानिन जरते तेने संज्ञा ला पर धनगा तास्काल ता तेबी का तेने संज्ञा चमदन दसते तेने तुजला लेबाना पो तेने छोटुल ता नजत का तेने संज्ञा चमदन द मोंबर दोपा संग गैस पेस्टिंग बोने तेने फामे तिनलन सबचे ना तेने संज्ञासी सुंग फामा मा आमा थोशे सिपिया तेने सुंचुरता सुमे ले युला पेप्ते तेने आमा छो सुंचे ना डेल्टे तेने लाउन ला छोस्कोर थायास बाजिक तेने स्कोर्पिन जोनो तो स्कोर्टे तेने यांस्कार तेने आता जंबुलिंग मियुला पेप्का बास्का ताते वो लायुल ने मियुला बास्का ने सुलिका तेने शास्का चानी छोड़तेन काबांगा था लबाब छोड़तेन जानो संज्ञा से गिंदुन के येन ठुक्सकान बु दुमसे से फिया तेबे ट्रांसफर फिया तेने एंदुम छोड़ते चांस पे जानो तेने पंगरिम टू ला जुर चांजे ओ ताते छोड़ते जी का तेने संज्ञा चमदान दाला मीमांग समय बस कुते तांते यूरिंग तो जुस्ते तेने छोस्को स्कोरा जाते युवा फुल पिन जानो ते जाने तेने कुते छेदुप चोस पे का तेने ई नमग्याल बालास्तेन ते कुते छेदुप चोस पे का तेने तेरे ट्रांसफर फिया तेने नमग्याल छोड़ते चांस पे जानो नमग्याल छोड़ते काबे तेने पंगरिम किट सुमसाके का ओते वे चांस पे जानो ngatāng miu ni pia nyangan la daskani sul chikstana jate tene ying jan karu tene sangyas ki dulchayot teru tene sangyas pespin jono ta ngatāng ngodla tene sangyas chamnanda skuzugi ka borte sku nyangan la daskani sultana zatkan bika tene tilbu kalbu wa tiji ka borkan toseka tebe zoika tene dasanga ta nyangdas chorten bo jaspin jono.
The Tibetan word for stupa is choten, which means the basis of offering. It is a symbol of the enlightened mind, the awakened mind, universal divinity and the path to its realization. The stupa represents Buddha's body and speech, but most especially his mind. Every part shows the path to enlightenment. Almost all the stupas in the region are living, active symbols of worship. Buddhist devotees revere stupas and circumambulate them as an act of merit. The stupa is worshipped by faithful devotees as it contains relics of the Buddha, bodhisattvas, and high lamas. The Stainless Beam Sutra states, all negative karma and obscurations, including the 5 uninterrupted negative karmas, are purified by dreaming of a stupa, seeing a stupa, hearing the sound of the bell of a stupa, and even for animals and insects, by being touched by the shadow of a stupa. However, the ancient stupas in Ladakh became neglected and started to decay due to time factors, climate change, and unplanned developmental works. Because of these reasons, most of the stupas built by our ancestors are deteriorating or are in various stages of preservation. Some of them may still be in good condition, but a good number of them have slipped past the stage of recovery and rehabilitation. Himalayan Cultural Heritage Foundation, a community-based, non-governmental organization, seeks to work with community institutions, traditional practitioners, and custodians of this heritage to promote and foster better stewardship and understanding of the mountain culture. The foundation lays great stress on training workshops, awareness programs, and documentations that promote the preservation of the rich cultural heritage of the Himalayas. HCHF has been focusing on stupas as an essential part of the Buddhist culture and has initiated various activities to keep the knowledge of stupa building alive. The present documentation includes the art of stupa building, measurements and drawings of construction plans according to Buddhist texts, interviews with experts on the significance of stupas, analysis of existing materials, plaster and pigments, photography, and the scientific study of stupas. All of this involves field trips to different sites to document different types of stupas and to interact with experts, monks, and anyone with knowledge of the traditional construction of stupas. It can be firmly stated that building a stupa is not to be undertaken casually, no matter what its size. A stupa built without the appropriate consecrations and supervision may even have a detrimental effect on the local environment, rather than harmonizing with it. It is important that the whole process is supervised by someone who really knows about them, to which purpose HCHF has involved several stupa experts, scholars, and monks. Building a stupa starts with selecting the right location and compiling a list of the building materials to be assembled for the inside of the stupa. Once the site has been chosen, prayers are said, and the earth deities addressed to seek a blessing for the site and to remove any obstacles to the successful building of the stupa. All those involved in the work must be sure to have the right motivation so that every aspect of the stupa emanates the pure mind of the Buddha. The most significant aspect of the built structure is its content, called zung. Once this is completed, the life stick, shokshing of the stupa may be initiated in conjunction with the preparation and consecration of mantras, which can be done off-site. All these rituals must be performed by qualified monks. Each stupa in the Tibetan tradition sits upon a square base, called the sengti, meaning the lion's throne. This sancti refers to the 4 qualities of mind basic to the attainment of enlightenment. This space is then traditionally filled with grains such as mustard, barley, wheat, peas, and other related substances. It will also contain juniper and other aromatic plants collected from the mountains, called palu. Small agricultural tools, known as sonam laksha, are specially prepared to be installed inside the sancti together with weapons such as bows and arrows. A vase, known as pumpa, filled with precious objects, jewels, and relics pertaining to the tradition of stupa building will also be installed. Generally speaking, there are 2 types of pumpa: norbum, for prosperity, and lubum, for abundant water. 5 steps are then built on the sancti, which represent the progress of the mind towards enlightenment. Each step can be further subdivided into 2, alluding to the 10 levels of bodhisattva realization. The consecrated shokshin is traditionally carved from sandalwood or juniper. However, if it is not possible to obtain these rare woods, the wood of any tree which does not bear poisonous fruit may be substituted. It is important that all the materials used in this process are of the highest quality possible. The shokshin is then wrapped in precious materials, and mantras and a blessed relic is placed inside. It is then fixed in place on the sancti. The shokshin has been carefully designed relative to the size of the stupa to project to its highest point. A rounded form is then built on top of the steps. This is called the pumpa. Depending on the size of the stupa, this is filled with mantras and further precious and pure representations of the Buddha's mind. Usually, there are 4 types of relics, namely, choskui ring shell, mantras, rilbui ring shell, grains, skudung ring shell, bones or ashes, and skubal ring shell, hair and clothes.
Dasa shoksing mo yugling na gen la sala nokle I shoksing na ade zawa nima chakpa shoksing mo le teni shoksing I thangma teni yo yugling songle yo pangrim tangpo nispa sumpa jipa yal ta yo yan changjup chorten la yo pangrim tanga khata yo nokle ta yo hlabap chorten songpa ina shaska ngata dasa sangyal hana bape. The
form of the pumpa is itself representative of the 17 levels of the realms of form. Above the pumpa, a spire is built, consisting of 13 tapering wheels symbolizing the 13 stages to Buddhahood. Above this, the umbrella and rain cover are positioned. The spire is topped by the pinnacle of the stupa, resting on a sun within a lunar crescent. The pinnacle represents a jewel symbolic of enlightenment. The sun represents wisdom, and the moon represents compassion, the awakening heart. While the stupa is being constructed, monks and stupa experts work together to install the mantras and other contents, including the life tree, at exactly the right place. This process continues until the consecration of the stupa.
Semchani teningada daksa goshechane deski drupches nang migoshe dungalgun metkanchose tablam raptan rimba mamang pochi cirkamang pochi kya tegun tingada chotene zungjuguna te pulde kya skot pasangada te tu kengos namyena chosten bo galakje jangte manba ibena sanges kusung tu yontan ten nang ne tukse yontan bo so choste ngada trankul chose itu yongchuk chese piangada in zerte namjigna nijagon chosten challenge tantene stop chunga sangya zarkana stop chul dankane sangya se kopang mangara top koshera tewen tene jamne ton da cho nyanjera arang ton da ko chasang ji rupchera tewa chi juno tana tonis zokbe sangya zen yale.
Once it is ready, the stupa is filled with relics which symbolically pertain to the utmost purity of mind. The stupa itself is the representation of the body of the Buddha, and the relics are the life force which flows through it. As such, the relics are more vital than the outer form. Once the building of the stupa has been completed and all the relics are in place, a consecration ceremony takes place. It is powerful to build a stupa for those who have passed away. A dedicated stupa immediately alters a suffering rebirth into a fortunate rebirth, with the opportunity to meet the Dharma. There is no question that a dedicated stupa accumulates extensive merit and brings success and happiness. It is good to build and dedicate stupas for your ancestors, family members, and friends who have passed away or who are sick, and for the happiness of yourself and your family in this and future lives. Building a stupa is also a powerful way to purify negative karma and obscurations, to accumulate extensive merit. By building a stupa, you may realize the path to enlightenment, being able to perform perfect acts to liberate all suffering beings. In this way, you will lead them to the peerless happiness of enlightenment, which is the ultimate goal of your life.